GSARG, Secret Santa 2020, take 2. These lights are bright. Hopefully there's enough light on me. Hopefully not too many cobwebs or dust. I'm sure there is. I'm sorry. My first time on a video like this, I'll probably look off into the sky, look off over there, quite a bit. A hard time looking straight ahead. Anyone who's talked to me in person knows that. Welcome, and... Alright. Take whatever, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Alright, if you're new here, my name's Josh. This is my stuff. Anyways, so I help run a community in the Greater Seattle area called the Greater Seattle Area Retro Gamers, or GSARG. And we did a Secret Santa this year. The person who I was pulled out of a hat for is one of the most prolific collectors, not just in the Washington, Seattle area, but quite possibly the world. What do you buy for a collector like that? I don't really know. I don't have all the answers. He gave me a small little sample of like the kinds of stuff he likes. He basically said, I like older stuff. I like the odd and the obscure. And to be honest, what am I going to be able to find, especially around 20, I could spend a little more, $50, $100. What am I going to find that's odd and obscure and old that is A, something he doesn't have, and 2, something he may enjoy? This was a really hard request. I'm just gonna show you some of the things and the reasons why I chose what I chose. To stick with what he likes. He likes older, Atari, Odyssey, original Nintendo. He has quite a few different complete sets already. I really don't know where to start with this, so I went to Google and obscure video games 2600. So that was the first search I did. He probably has this game. It's nothing like super fancy, super expensive, but it was on the top list of quite a few different obscure games for the 2600. But from the looks on the cover, it looks kind of like a Pac-Man clone of some sort. The one thing I thought that was kind of cool about it, though, is it says 20th Century Fox on it, which, now that Fox was gobbled up by Disney, that branding's kind of gone, so that's kind of why I picked it. I thought it was kind of neat for that reason, and the game is Alien.
Alright, let's check this game out. Oh hey, look at that, I was right. It's a Pac-Man clone. What am I collecting? Are these eggs? I like how the portals are animated so you don't just appear on the other side. If pellets are eggs, what the heck are power pellets? Wait, I think it's best not to ask. Hey, come back here! I'm going to eat you? What does an alien even taste like? Tell me what you think aliens taste like down in the comment section below. Actually, I really like the little guy character you are. I think the character animation's pretty good too. He seems pretty fluid for a 2600 game. It definitely gets across what it's trying to be, which you're a human running around, running away from these aliens. Controls are really good. I press left, I go left. I press up, I go up. Looks like they reduced the number of ghosts, or aliens, maybe for performance. Oh man, and a Frogger clone. A 2-for-1! Oops, sorry.
That's what I picked for number 1. Another random item I kind of had just around for a system that I don't have, I probably won't have, I probably will never hook it up if I do have it. I didn't know what else to do with it. Again, I don't know anything about it. It's for the Odyssey 2. It is complete in box. I don't know what it is. It's going to be in better hands with John Hancock than it is going to be with me. Let's just put it that way.
All right, select your game. All right, pressing 1 selects the first one. Well, this looks simple enough. Just have to avoid the... Well... Let's try again. Yeah, see? No big deal. Just have to avoid the... Alright, let's try the other mode. All right, hitting 2 selects the second game. Oh, look, it's a 2-player game. Uh-oh. This could be kind of awkward. Let's see if I can do this with 2 different hands. Oh, well, up is not forward. Up is up. Well, that's weird. So the direction you're pressing is the direction you're going, which makes sense, I guess, but man, this is really awkward to do with 2 hands trying to do 2 different cars. Let's see if I can handle this corner coming up here, and oh, cut it too soon. This looks like it'd be pretty fun if there was multiple people, but just me, I'm good.
All right, so after those 2, I decided to do something a little different, and I know he likes older, obscure games, but, you know, seeing that he's probably going to have every single older, obscure game I can think of, I decided to just start Googling obscure games from, like, the 2000-ish era. You know, maybe early 2000s, before 2010. I know he's a teacher, and I know that he has kids, so I figured I'd kind of focus on a couple of games that were a little more obscure, might give him something to play with his family, and something of that nature. What I did is I went and found this multiplayer game on the PlayStation 2. It is called Bombtastic.
Did I really just say Bombtastic? I meant Bombastic. Bombtastic, a self-proclaimed dice-based action puzzle game, it was developed by Shift and published by Capcom for the PS2 in 2003. It's the follow-up for the PS1 game Devil Dice. This game has many modes. In challenge mode, there are 100 levels, and the goal is to clear the dice field as quickly as possible and rack up as many points as you can. Bombtastic adds a quest mode to the already stellar gameplay that Devil Dice started and improves on the mechanics in virtually every single way. You play as these demon children, rolling dice and matching their face values to make them explode, all while trying to get to your grandpa who lives in the sky. Kind of a weird story. But along the way, you'll fight bosses, destroy enemies, and blow up a metric ton of dice. But wait, there's so much more. This title is packed with content. It has 2-player support in the primary puzzle mode, a war setting that is a 5-way dice exploding free-for-all, classic mode that returns you to a calmer Devil Dice era, and an advanced mode which allows you to stack dice, roll dice atop of each other, and even chuck dice around. The music is catchy, and the replayability is extremely high with all the different play modes. I can't believe this game was sub $10. After playing it for the first time, I suggest any puzzle gamer grab it.
I'm hoping that he'll be able to play this with his kids. Maybe it's something he doesn't have. That's the 3rd game that I decided to go with for John Hancock. So the next one is for another system that came out around early 2000s, before 2010. It's a Disney game. It's made for families. Looked kind of interesting. It was on some top obscure lists, and that is Guilty Party.
You've got to do something.
I'm retired. You're the detectives. You figure it out.
One criticism of the Wii is the vast amounts of shovelware. Where this is a fair point, there are often games missed on the Wii because of this conventional wisdom. From the box art to the description on the back, Guilty Party looks to fit this bill. Defying all odds though, Guilty Party shines through. From the cartoony art that fits the Wii system well, to the great voice acting, catchy opening theme song, and good use of motion controls, Disney put some real work and care into this title. You play as a member of a detective family, solving crimes while Mr. Valentine works to outwit you along the way. The gameplay of this title is akin to the board game Clue mixed with the mini-games of Mario Party. As you move around each map via tokens, the game will throw obstacles in the way, things such as power outages, locked doors, or even additional mini-games. Lucky for you, at the start of each turn you receive a random card with a special ability to help solve the mystery and take the crown as the new head detective of the family. Story mode of this game, which can be played single player, multiplayer, or co-op, is a little on the short side. However, it doesn't just stop there. In Versus mode, you simply choose the location and the game will generate a new scenario to compete in, determining the crime, the suspects, and the culprit. Overall, the game is short, but play this title with your friends or your kids, and I think you'll be surprised.
So something that maybe he can hopefully play with his kids. Again, it's complete in box. The next item, if you're new to my channel or you're new to my life, since there's not a whole lot of this on my channel anyways, you probably know that I've made reproductions for a long time. Recently, within the last year, kind of stopped doing that, but I have lots of parts. One of the other community members in the GSARG community made a game last year for the Sega Genesis. It's a homebrew, and he gave me permission to make a few copies. I decided to make a copy for John Hancock. It is called Mega Xmas 89.
Mega Xmas 89 was created by Shane Lynch and is distributed by his company, Nekojita Games. It's a simple game, a throwback to a simpler time, in the early Windows cult classic, Ski Free. There are some enhancements over its spiritual parent though. The A button will speed you up, B button for jump, and C button to do some tricks. You have 3 lives, represented by Santa's jolliness, crash and lose one of his ho-ho-hos. This game adds 3 different styles of courses to choose from. Slalom, to race down the slopes in a course marked by flags. Do not miss or lose some jolliness. Style, which is filled with more jumps so you can test out the trick button. Crashing in this course is a lot easier. And free ski. I think we all know what that one means. This is a short and sweet tribute that I pull out during Christmas time for a couple of runs.
I figured that'd be something kind of cool for John to have because he is into the homebrew scene quite a bit. He does like to talk about at least NES homebrew. I don't know if he has this game. Hopefully he doesn't, and this will be something cool to add to his collection. Yeah, shake that hair. All right. Being from the Seattle area, home of Penny Arcade, home of the original PAX, I've been going to PAX for 12 years at this point, something like that. Every year they always have some cool giveaways, cool things to trade with other people, that kind of thing, right? You know, knowing John wants to have a video game museum at some point, I do think it'll be important, maybe not now, but in the future to have some of these items that are a part of gaming culture in general. They're Cuphead specific. I'm pretty sure it was the year Cuphead was released, so I could look that up. I'll probably do that and put the date right here. I don't know if he has them. He's also local to Seattle, so it's quite possible he went. It's quite possible he already has them, but if he doesn't, I think it is something that will be wanted in a video game museum, which is something he is looking to do one of these days. So this is just another thing. I don't know where I got them from. Decided to throw those in as well. These are pretty cool, and I do think that it's something that would go well in a collection such as John's. Another little thing about me is I love OEM controllers, and I despise third-party controllers. There's one exception, though. There's one exception with third-party controllers that I absolutely love, and that is Hori. I decided that to give something that means something to me to John, I got him a Hori pad for the Super Famicom. And it looks just like an original controller. It's got, you know, instead of the concave buttons that we got here in the US, it's got the convex ones, which they had in Japan. Buttons feel really good. Everything feels really good on it. They added these little hand lumps here to be able to give a little bit better feeling in your hand, which I really, really, really like. So I'm stoked that he gets to add this to his collection. It's just a brand that I really, really, really like, and I've been using for a long time. And anytime I see a Hori controller, I have to buy it. It's just part of who I am now at this point. So a couple of years ago, I was talking to one of the members of the retro gaming community up here, and they were talking about playing some old Super Nintendo games, specifically JRPGs, and a controller they really, really liked. Well, at the time, I went and hunted that controller down, and I got one for myself, and I've really liked it. It's called the ASCII Grip. It's for the Super Nintendo. Well, recently, I've decided I wanted one for PlayStation as well, because I've been playing Final Fantasy VII again, because I played the remake earlier in the year, and I really enjoyed it. Really dislike having to use a controller with both hands in a game kind of like that. Sure enough, the ASCII Grip exists for the PlayStation. The Super Nintendo one had shot up in price. A couple years ago when I first bought it, it was like $30. They're like 60 now, something like that. Decided to see what the PlayStation one was running. I've seen most of them going for like 20, 25, something like that. I ended up finding a listing for $10. It said it was brand new, had no picture though. So I took a risk, got it. Sure enough, came brand new, in box, perfectly fine. Got one for myself, got one for John. This next thing, it's kind of dumb. Probably going to be special to me, maybe special to a handful of other people. I'm hoping John understands the significance about it. Growing up in Salton, we actually had some really awesome teachers. So I actually also had some really good friends, and they actually would work for the school, specifically during the summer, helping the tech department, helping some of the teachers out and whatnot. So we got some privileges that weren't normal, I don't think, especially at the time period. This was early 2000s. I was in high school from 2000 to 2004. One thing that was really cool is the lead IT guy, he allowed us to use the school computers to throw LAN parties, and we would have epic LAN parties. I'm talking 30, 40 kids. Some other teachers would come, and they would actually basically chaperone the LAN parties for us, which was really cool too. They played games with us. We played StarCraft, Counter-Strike, Quake, Jedi 2, Jedi Outcast. Some of my favorite memories are from that. But one thing we had to do is we had to install StarCraft, Counter-Strike, all of those on all of the computers at once. We used to ghost the entire lab. They had removable hard drive base, so we'd pull a hard drive out, flash it, throw it back in, call it a day. We basically ran the school in the way that like a business would run their ID departments. It was actually really cool. It was an all-day task it was about 4 of us that would do it. We would do the entire lab. We would also set up a projector with a couple of consoles or games hooked up to it as well. It was just a blast. However, back in the early days, before easy to use downloadable games were, you didn't have good old games where you just downloaded an executable and installed it. Like, you had to install these onto a drive, and then you usually had to use a CD in order to boot that game. StarCraft was one that was really interesting because the CD key and the CD were needed in order to play the game. So the CD key, as long as you're only playing on LAN, if you're playing online, you had to have a valid CD key. But if you're playing on LAN, you could use 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and maybe possibly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, something like that. Super easy to do. I'm pretty sure they were there for dev and testing, but they were still in the retail version. However, you still needed a CD in order to boot that. There's like 30 of us kids. So between all of us, we actually had almost enough discs to have 8 people in a game. I say almost because obviously have a couple of burned copies, because why not, right? So anyways, what I've decided to include is this is one of the original discs that we used to install from. It's beat to hell. I still have it all these years. This was my friend Mike's copy, and we used it to install, and then we used it to play, to boot the game and whatnot before the easy downloadable stuff from Blizzard came and all of that, or the easy no CD key patches. And then we have, from that same time period, early 2000s, a burned copy that we also used for the same purposes. So I'm going to put them in a frame like this, and I'm going to put a little story about what they are, where they came from, why they're there, why they're that way, why they're important to me. Don't worry, I have a pile of these, no joke. I have like 10 copies. I don't know how I found them all, but I found them all. I felt that this might be something that was a little bit more of a personal history, of myself. Maybe it won't mean anything to John, but it means something to me. And I hope as a teacher and as a fellow gamer, it'll mean something to him as well. It's not finished yet. I have to get on Photoshop and add up, put my little blurbs about stuff, and I want to print off something really nice and put it all together. I'll go ahead and finish that up, and then I'll put a picture of it, like, right here. I'll take a nice picture and I'll just, like, superimpose. Maybe I'll just take up the whole screen. But yeah, so that's something that I think will be really cool. Just gamer to gamer, something that was really important to me growing up, and hopefully it'll, even though it's not game history in any sort of meaningful way, maybe it'll be preserved. Anyways, game on. As I used to always have outros of all of my streams, good luck, have fun, don't die. That last part's pretty poignant this year, but game on, man. Game on.